Welcome to This Week in Video Game Mashup. I'm your host, Theefury, and with me is my co-host.
Matt Jones, what's up everybody? Mavrickx888.
And welcome to the show, guys. This is going to be a brand new show all about the news, games of week, asking guild leaders, upcoming releases, weekend deals, all about video game and video game technology. But first up, how the hell was your week?
Tiring trying to put this together, but other than that, I'm looking forward to it.
Yes, my week was great, busy as hell, but still fun. This podcast is going to be all about those news, and we'll just bring you every little bit of story we can and try and inform you and entertain you at the same time. So, moving right into the news this week, a busy news week as far as the video game industry is concerned, but Nintendo reports its first ever annual loss as a company.
Yeah, it's something you don't see every day. It says here, according to The Verge, 532 million loss. I guess that really, in the grand scheme of things, doesn't seem like a lot. But hey, it's Nintendo's first loss, so it's definitely something to talk about.
Well, Nintendo is primarily a hardware company. They make their own software for their games, and that's what sells on their hardware. But they were making a lot of money from the Wii's, and it looks like the Wii's have stopped selling as well.
Yeah, well, how long was the Wii on top for in the quote unquote console wars? I mean, forever. So it doesn't surprise me that when that stops being the case, and I guess Microsoft and the Xbox are taking over, that Nintendo starts going downhill, and what they got out right now in terms of fresh new stuff is the 3DS, and I'm pretty sure that's not selling like hotcakes. So they're kind of losing the battle for hardware at the moment.
Right, and with the 3DS and their shift towards 3D technology, and hopefully this Wii U saves them, it's not looking good, but I have faith in Nintendo. Nintendo makes things happen when things look bad.
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt they're still around for a reason. They still have, the big franchises that everyone loves and will always play and always remember. So, I mean, that's something they can always cash in on. What are your feelings on the Wii U itself? Do you think it's the future for Nintendo? Do you think they're in the right direction, or what do you think on that?
Well, the thing from what I've gathered from what the Wii U is going to be is essentially an upgrade to the original Wii. There's not a lot of differences there, except it's going to be next gen. So it's going to be HD graphics and HD capabilities, and the things they say they're going to promise to do, if they can deliver at least one fourth of what they say they're going to deliver, this could be an amazing console. I'm keeping an eye on it, but I'm skeptical.
Yeah, I read a rumor somewhere that they've just upgraded the Wii U specifications in terms of hardware because they are feeling the pressure from these big name consoles going out and getting crazy hardware to put in their systems, and then here we got the Wii U with this dinky little processor, dinky little graphics card. They're really pumping. They're trying to pump it up. They just said that they were able to run both Unreal Engine 3 and 4 on the Wii U now. So, I mean, that's an indication that Nintendo's taking this a bit more seriously. Not that they weren't taking it seriously before, but a bit more aggressive with their hardware. Then, we might see something great from the Wii U in terms of graphics capabilities.
Well, for a long time now, Nintendo has not been about graphics. It's all about gameplay. It's all about enjoyment. They kind of play with childish graphics and cartoon-esque styles, so that's never been a priority. But I think moving on in the future, it needs to be a bit more of a priority. When you look at a PS3, when you look at an Xbox 360, or the PC's capabilities, I know personally, I just got myself a gaming PC at the end of last year. It is a life changer being able to see that.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, when I got my hands on the PS3 for the first time, I definitely, while like I agree, Nintendo and graphics in general and always everything. Let me tell you, it's nice seeing something in HD as compared to not HD, and it certainly doesn't take away from the value of the game to have better graphics, and I don't think Nintendo should shift away from putting more into the graphics and less into the game. I definitely think if anyone's gonna care about the game, it's gonna be Nintendo, and we're not gonna see any degradation in terms of quality of the game instead of quality of the graphics. I'm just interested to see them actually really try and compete on, because I mean they really haven't had a console that's been groundbreaking in terms of graphics since what, maybe the Nintendo A, and then maybe the N64 being their biggest like leap forward and kind of changing the changing the industry. So hopefully maybe they can, I mean, maybe not change the industry, but maybe they can come out with something really intriguing with the Wii U.
Well, in a wrap up, I think if anyone can do it and survive, it's going to be Nintendo. I don't think Nintendo's going to go anywhere anytime soon, and we're just going to have to let the time show what's going to happen here in this story. But moving on, our next story is: will next-gen consoles block used games? Rumors have been swirling around, but are they true? Personally, if this happens, they're out of their mind. They are going to kill another industry.
Oh yeah, they're gonna kill multiple big companies. Off the top of my head, GameFly is dead. They're done. They can't survive. Any retailer that exchanges games or for used games, or you can go and buy used games. Amazon, that's going to take. I mean, maybe it's not as big of a hit to Amazon as other places, but they're going to get hit, and it's just to affect such a vibrant industry like that with something so consumer negative. It's really mind-boggling how they can even consider it.
Well, first of all, I don't think GameFly will get affected by this compared to the other companies listed. For instance, I think GameFly would actually make deals with the manufacturers, and they would want a company like GameFly to work with them. The other companies, the secondhand markets, the GameStops, those companies, they are being directly affected by this. Why a company wants, why an industry wants to basically block people from using or reselling their games and maybe getting a little bit of cash out of it so they can buy another game, or even, I'm done with it, you guys have it. I don't understand why they would ever want to block that, because if you make a good enough game, people will buy it over and over again. I have bought certain games like 20 times because I'll play it, lose it, trade it to someone, sell it, but then get that urge to play it again and come back to it. So if you make a good enough game, people will they will pay for it. They will pay a lot of money for it.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I'm reading over at GameSpot. They have an article on this topic, and they got a couple big names to come and make a comment on this, and everyone's saying that that this type of rumor has surfaced with every major release of every major console, and it's not been true every time. So I'm really hoping it's not true this time. Although with all the pushes in politics and every facet of fighting piracy and getting the bad guys, I wouldn't be surprised if this issue is taken a little bit more seriously, and I really hope that nothing like this comes to fruition, but I'm gonna be prepared if it does.
Well, this just is another thing where it's a false flag, because the whole piracy argument, in my opinion, is pretty close to being bullshit. Services such as Steam or Gamersgate or Director Drive, all of these services, I will try a game out by downloading the demo. If there isn't a demo available and I really want it, I may pirate it, but I will pay good money because of these services. They make it so easy for me to download the game. Steam specifically is just a great service. Origin is okay, but Steam will offer deals. I will even pay for games full price. Like for instance, Portal 2. I bought that, had it pre-downloaded, pre-installed, ready to go. I had it. I paid full price for that game, and I have no second thoughts about doing it. And you make a good enough game, I will pay full price for it, and I will pay hard-earned money for it.
Yeah, I think that's very important in when you talk about I want to get this game. Is it worth my money? And if the gaming companies can prove that it is, then yeah, I'll definitely go out and buy it. But like you said, if a game that I'm iffy about, it doesn't have a demo or something, I may just pirate that to see if I like it, and if I like it, then there's my money. If not, then well, whatever. I didn't really like it anyway. And it is it is not the best way to look at things, but with game prices on the rise constantly, I mean, we're in the $60 range nowadays. I mean, who knows? In another 5 years, it's going to be $70 when the new consoles come out. We probably see a spike right when they come out, and as the prices go up and we don't make any more money, what are we going to do? I mean, we have no choice. If we want to play these games, sometimes pirating is the only option.
And people need to start considering this. The older you get, the less free time you have in your life, and time becomes more valuable. I have money right now, and there's about 10 games that I would like to play, but I don't have the time to play them, so I have to put aside certain amount of time for this project, this thing, that thing, and then time comes into the factor as well. So is it worth my time? For instance, Battlefield 3 happens to be one of my favorite top played games right now. I will make time for that game because I enjoy it. I don't have to repurchase it, I already have it. If they make an update to it and they do DLC, I'll buy that DLC hands down, no questions asked. So you make a good enough product, people will pay for it, people will put the hard-earned money down. So this whole thing, if it comes true, it's just going to push people towards the PC more and more, and the consoles will slowly but surely die out. Moving on, speaking of consoles, we have a brand new bundle coming out for the Xbox 360. It's a $99 console with 2-year contract. This comes with the full set. You get the camera, you get a 4 gigabyte Kinect bundle. But you do get a 2-year contract where you have to pay $15 a month for Xbox Live.
Yeah, it's interesting. Well, first of all, we should clarify this. This deal is not, how can we say, available to everybody. You have to go into a Microsoft store, and I don't know about you, but I've never seen a Microsoft store. Evidently, there's like 15 in the U.S. Go figure. So I mean, that kind of limits their audience a little bit. Maybe it's probably more of a pilot at this point. Maybe if it does well, then they may open it up to, you can go into, your local Walmart and buy something like this or whatever. But that being said, it's an interesting, I don't want to say it's a good way to look at the distribution of this console. Maybe not specifically, but in general, the distribution of the consoles like this. Me personally, as a gamer, I would not go out and do this. That's because I am a gamer. Maybe for a more casual person, I would say this is a better deal. But for me, I would just go out and buy the Xbox.
Well, yes, but this is not aimed at you. This is aimed at the mom who is maybe single and doesn't have a lot of income coming in, or the lower incomed people who their kid wants Xbox, their kid wants this, but that initial investment of $300+ is too much of a stretch. Most people can afford $100 per paycheck, just throw down, and then $15 a month kind of seems like a good deal at the time, even though they're in the long run, you're paying quite a bit more. This is, again, not for us. It's for the casuals, and they're trying to just sell more units and get more units out there so that when earnings come, when market numbers come out, they can say, look how many Xbox 360s are out there compared to how many PS3s.
Yeah, I definitely think this is more aimed to the casual player, and you're right, to the people who maybe can't afford that price barrier of $300 or $299, and this would appeal more to them. And I'm curious, I'm not reading anything here about it, but what happens at the end of that 2 years? Do you get to just keep it and then you just pay the regular Xbox Live cost, or do you have to renew a contract? I'm interested. I'm not reading anything. We'll see what that holds for the customers.
Well, I actually, it's not stated, but I'm going to assume that they'll stay on a rotating, well, they won't actually be locked into a contract at that point. So they'll stay on a $15 a month to continue their Xbox Live unless they decide to cancel that plan and then re-up with the regular plan. The math on this is you get the $300 Xbox, you're paying an additional $120 over the span of 2 years. So that's quite a bit.
Yeah, I'm looking at that now. Yeah, as opposed to just getting in for $300, you end up paying $120 extra dollars. Yeah, versus just straight going with the console itself.
Personally, this is not going to be something for me. I am primarily a PC gamer, so this doesn't even affect me. But this is a good thing for the casuals. We'll see if more people do this, more companies do this. It seems these days in economical harsh times like we are in, that subsidizing things over time makes things easier for the general market, and hopefully people will continue to game, and we get more gamers out of this. Therefore, more games, hopefully more quality. Moving into our next story, we've got Adam Sessler and Kevin Pereira leaving G4. G4 was a network. It was originally Tech TV. It merged into G4, and it was G4 Tech TV for a long time, and now it's just G4. The only two longest standing people, Adam Sessler and Kevin Pereira, who have been there pretty much since the beginning. Adam Sessler has been there since the beginning with the Tech TV. He's the last Tech TV person on board, and both are leaving from their own accord. No firings, no layoffs. It's just they're leaving the company completely.
Yeah, this is honestly, I want to say I hate to actually I don't hate to diss on DG4, but it's a long time coming. In terms of Adam Sessler, I'm honestly surprised that he stayed on when all the other original Tech TV crew got out of there fairly quickly. I'm surprised he stayed on as long as he did. There's no word on exactly why he left. I think there's been no press releases for him as far as I know. As far as Kevin Pereira goes, he's said he's made a statement that he's leaving because he wants to turn his attention to his full-time production company, Super Creative, and a live touring nerd carnival, Lead Up. Super Creative, I have not heard anything about. But Lead Up sounds like a very interesting idea. But I'm like I said, long time coming. I kind of say good for you, finally, Adam Sessler. I hope you go on to bigger and better things.
Well, Adam Sessler, I'm going to assume on this. I mean, he's definitely worked there for almost 14 years. I'm going to assume that every couple of years he's been able to renew his contract and ask for more money, more money, more money, because he brings a certain quality to it. And I would watch G4 for X Play only. Like, that was my show. I still watch the podcast. I still listen to the news. He did a very good job. Him and Morgan Webb working together balanced out great, even though everything else on the network kind of lost its Tech TV flair. X-Play kind of kept it. Even though they kept updating, for the most part, they were the only original property still from that time. And it was a good show. And Adam Sessler really balanced that out. So you've got one of the top guys leaving now, and I think that gave Pereira just an opening. And what he's actually said, I read the article, and this is very good of him. He's going to stay until the end of E3, and then he's going to bail. That's really good, because they probably had a lot of stuff set up for E3 already, and because Adam Sessler's leaving, that basically means they gotta scrap. They gotta find a new person in time, and Adam Pereira was willing to stay on. That's really strong of him.
Yeah, that's good. The Escapist magazine says, for as far as Adam Sessler goes, his representative said, and quoting, Adam intends to stay in front of the camera and continue as a key voice within the games industry. So, I mean, well, hopefully we see some more from Adam Sessler. I personally was hoping that he'd kind of do his own thing, maybe, or maybe not his own thing, but definitely keep his personality and his suave, as it were, in wherever he goes, and I hope he brings that. Whatever, 'cause I love Adam Sessler as a host. He's one that's, like you said, one of the reasons I even watched G4 after the switch from Tech TV, and Tech TV. I watched it a lot for X Play and Adam Sessler. I love his personality, so hopefully he brings that wherever he goes, and we see more from him.
Yes, and moving on to one of the last stories of the day, Diablo 3 lands May 15th. I'm personally not a Diablo player. Never played number 1, never played number 2, but saw enough of it from roommates. I'm actually excited about this. I've got it pre-installed on my computer. I've already bought it. It's ready to go. As soon as the launch comes, I'm going to give it a go and see if I can get through and enjoy it.
Yeah, I'm on the fence. Being a long-time Diablo 2 player, I actually own 4 separate copies of this expansion. Why I do, I don't know, but my love for Diablo 2 knows no ends. It's definitely the game that I've played the most and replayed the most. I've replayed it almost once a year, every year since it came out. Just picked it up again, and I've seen I haven't played, unfortunately, the Diablo 3 beta when it came out. I didn't get to play it, but I've seen gameplay videos. I've heard other people talk about it, and I just don't see anything that's going to separate itself enough from any of its predecessors from Diablo 2. It just seems like it's just going to be another Diablo clone. I hate to say it. I mean, but I'm not gonna diss on it too much. We'll see what it's like when it comes out. But right now, they're not gonna see my $50 or $60, whatever it is.
Well, plenty of people have put hard-earned money down. I know quite a few people who have even gone as far as to buy the upgraded version. Blizzard had done a padding campaign, is what I'm going to call it, where if you signed up for a year contract, this is more subsidizing, for World of Warcraft, said, hey, I'm going to play WoW for a year. They gave you Diablo 3 for free. They also gave you a couple other in-game stuff. So this allows them to say at launch, even if you don't really plan on buying it, those count as sold copies. So don't be surprised to see Diablo 3 selling more copies than Modern Warfare 3 because of this padding strategy. It's not the best strategy in my concern, because it kind of waters down the numbers. It's not 100% accurate, but it's smart, and you have to give them credit.
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt Blizzard knows how to handle itself in the gaming market. And on speaking of numbers, as of yesterday, Diablo 3 became the most pre-ordered Blizzard game and became the most pre-ordered Amazon PC game. So if that's any indication of how much hype and interest that is in Diablo 3, yeah, you can say that it will definitely be played at launch. There's no doubt. We'll see if Blizzard servers can handle it with their notorious ability to fall short in that department.
Alrighty, last story of the day. Original story, gaming, DLC timing. How do we feel on DLC being issued at launch of the game? Personally, I think it's very sleazy to issue a non-free downloadable content as the game is launched. I'm looking at maybe the Street Fighter series and a couple other series where basically the day the game came out, there was DLC available and you had to pay for it.
Yeah, I'm definitely on your side on this. The most notable that I can think of, Mass Effect 3 just came out. They had, and in fact, maybe not a huge DLC in terms of affecting the story, but it did include a whole nother part of the story with the DLC, as in you are missing out on a decent chunk of the game if you do not purchase this DLC, and that's really, really sleazy. There's no doubt that if you're going to release a game and you're going to leave out a decent chunk, you should not make it a DLC. One, you should include it. And two, if you do make it a DLC, at least wait a little while. Don't make gamers feel like, wow, I just missed out on a bunch of stuff because I don't have the cash flow to pay for this right now. And now I got a lesser game than, Mr. Rich Pants across the street who bought the whole game in the collector's edition and got everything. So I mean, the price barrier of $60 is enough for some people, just to keep them away from at that. But you're going to add another, $10, $15 on a DLC after that. That's not my cup of tea.
But I have to say, we're not even looking at this. If this was a game that we really loved, let's just say all of a sudden there was Left 4 Dead 3 came out. Day one DLC was available. Would you not buy that? Because I know I would buy it.
Um, my principles, my my morality would keep me back maybe a little while. You bring up an interesting point. Let's say Battlefield 3 released with the DLC day one. Would I have bought it? It depends on what the DLC was. I guess I would have to say if it's just a little perk on the side or something, maybe not. If it was a bunch of maps, maybe. It doesn't take away from the fact that the it's very shady. But I guess if the game was good enough, I guess I'd have to fork over my money, which is sad to say.
Alright, that was the news. We're moving into quickfire news, where essentially we just read the headline, we give a quick what's up, and move on quickfire style. First story of the week would be Elder Scrolls Online announced. Excited? Not so excited? Personally, I don't really care.
Yeah, I'm very interested just because I want to see what they do transitioning from single player to MMO. It's interesting. Next up, we have Portal 2 Map Editor DLC Perpetual Testing Initiative. That's the name of it. It's landed. It's free, which is awesome. Go Steam, and go Valve. When I've heard the releases so far, it's actually user friendly. So go check it out.
I'm downloading it as we speak. I am super excited. Let's add so much more content to a game that no one was playing. I'm very happy to see a lot more of my friends back in Portal 2 editing maps as we speak. Nvidia GTX 670 releases in United States and the UK, $399.
Yeah, this is going to be the budget card for you gamers out there who haven't already picked up your 680, which you probably can't because it's not in stock. But definitely look for this. It's being overclocked, and it is looking just as good as the 680 for $100 cheaper.
A couple more months, it'll come down in price, and I will pick it up.
New Resident Evil 6 information released. The launch date is also set for October 2nd, so it's actually right around the corner comparatively. A little tidbit on the side, the Premium Collector's Edition is coming out, possibly in the US, for $1,300, and it will include Leon's leather jacket, exclusive cell phone covers, and of course the Collector's Edition of the game.
First of all, I thought the smartest thing they could have ever done was they went with Resident Evil 4, they changed the style up, they made it more available to a more broad audience, and they continued that in 5, and it looks like they're doing the same thing in 6. I'm very excited. And as far as that $1,300 set, does that jacket come in size fat?
It better come encrusted with diamonds or something, jeez.
Next up, Hitman pre-orders get you access to a brand new minigame called Sniper Challenge. I am a humongous fan of Hitman. I am not going to pre-order this, and I am not going to partake in Sniper Challenge. Personally, I think it's a bit of a hype thing. It's a good idea, but not for me.
Yeah, I'd rather have a demo than a sniper challenge, I guess. But hey, you know what? If it gets people excited, then more power to them. Assassin's Creed 3 pre-alpha gameplay trailer is released, and wow, man, it looks amazing. I mean, in a pre-alpha state too. I'm not gonna lie, I'm an Assassin's Creed fan as it is, and this just makes me more excited.
Trailer looked a little fishy to me, looked a little staged, so I'm not too thrilled. We'll see what they can actually deliver. Nintendo DSi and DSi XL gets price cuts starting May 20th. That brings the price down to $99 and $129. Impulse buy? Maybe. I'm still not going to pick one up.
Yeah, it's not. It's I already have one, but I mean, $99. That's definitely getting the impulse buy area, and they're trying to pump out their products. Trying to get every little last bit they can before the Wii U comes out, and they're trying to get their 3DS sales. So we'll see if this helps any. Kingdom Hearts series could finally be making its way back to consoles. Exciting news for those of you who wanted the last Kingdom Hearts game to come out on the consoles, but instead isn't coming out later this year for the DS. I know a lot of people excited about it, and I can't say I'm not either.
They would be really stupid not to bring this series back to the major consoles. It is a money machine. Bioshock Infinite delayed to 2013. They're taking the Blizzard strategy. It's done when it's finished. Very smart decision. They can delay it as long as they want. The game is looking amazing. As long as it comes out with a product that matches the first and second games, I will be very happy.
Yeah, I can't agree more. If they needed a couple extra months to make the product as good as possible, then please do. Just don't make it a StarCraft Ghost. Wolfenstein 3D turned 20 last Sunday, excuse me. Celebrates with a free browser-based version. I actually checked it out. It's a blast from the past. I love it. Congratulations, ID Studios. You guys rock. You guys pioneered first-person shooters. So hats off. Turned 20.
Game still holds up to this day. I love playing it. I'll just boot it up randomly. And just so much fun. Last quickfire question, or quickfire news. Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Future Soldier lands on the 22nd. Excited about this, personally. Never been a huge fan of Ghost Recon. Not going to be picking it up. We'll see what it can do in the sales charts, though.
Yeah, I played a Ghost Recon way back in the day. It was first-person shooter, nothing too special. Evidently, the big draw to this one is insane multiplayer combat, so we'll see how it goes.
Alright, now moving on to a segment that we're trying to pioneer here called Ask a Guild Leader. Tons of people play MMOs. Millions of people play WoW. Millions of people play the new Star Wars. There's a lot of different MMOs, and there's a leadership setup where you'll have a GM, you'll have officers, and things happen, and you need to be able to deal with them. So for the beginning part, or the first few weeks of this podcast, we're going to go to wow.joystick.com and use their officer quarters segment. So the first question comes to us from a longtime officer of a guild, and essentially what he is asking is, how do you save a dying guild when the guild leader has invited their spouse or their lover into the game, and they are co-leading it, and one of them leaves and breaks up. How do you save that? Well, in this, and we'll link it, the full story, so you can read the full question in the notes. Essentially what's happening here is the guild is on the rocks. It is dying, and if you've got a dying guild and you're not the GM of it, it's very difficult to salvage that guild. You've got a couple options when someone who is leading the guild is not pulling their weight. You need to talk to them about it. Ask them why they're not doing something. Ask them if they want to be the GM and want to pursue this. If they don't want to pursue it, then ask them to hand it over, because they're going to lose everyone in the guild. So the guy who was asking the question was wondering what he should personally do. Well, personally, if you care about this guild enough, ask to become GM and make it happen. If you don't care enough to make that move, then go find another guild.
Yeah, I agree. First of all, I don't think that if you're a GM, you should bring a relationship into the mix. I don't think it's healthy for the relationship itself, and I don't think it's healthy for the guild, especially like you said. I mean, if something happens, you guys break up, what happens? Do both of you go your separate ways? Does one stay, like in this case? I just think it's better if you leave that. Either you pick one, you're the GM first, or you're in a relationship and you're a typical guild member.
Right. If you are a GM or a higher up, having someone that you're dating in-game, out-of-game, in real life, wherever, be at the same level or a higher level than you is very difficult. If you're the GM and you're dating someone who's one of your officers, it is very difficult to keep your head away from wanting to protect that person and not treat them as if they are an employee of yours. If you're a GM and you have officers, they report to you. And then below them, they report to them. So it is a company aspect at that point, and you have to treat it that way.
I think I agree. Running it like a business is maybe it's not, maybe it's a more cold approach, but I think it is definitely the way to go, because I mean, what you're doing essentially is what every business has to do, and that's micromanaging your employees. I mean, you gotta you gotta be the leader. So I mean, if you don't do that, and if you let stuff like this interfere, then something's gonna happen.
All right, guys. Thank you for listening to that segment. But if you have a question about what you should do in a GMing or officer point, ask the guild leader yourself. Go to your email and send your questions to videogamemashup@gmail.com. Once again, that is videogamemashup@gmail.com. And you might have your letter answered on the next podcast. Moving on, Maverick here is going to hit us with the weekend deal.
Yeah, so there's actually only really a couple notable ones. Obviously, the most notable being from Steam. Go figure. They have the Elder Scrolls Skyrim, 33% off, $40. Definitely ringing it down. I love it. I love Skyrim, and definitely if I had a PC that could run it, I'd be picking that up. Portal 2, 66% off, as well as the Portal bundle, also 66% off. The Portal 2 itself is $6.79. Definitely an impulse buy with the DLC out. Portal bundle gives you 1 and 2, obviously, and $8.49, even more of an impulse buy. Definitely pick that up. Company of Heroes, a complete pack, 80% off, and $10. They're trying to pip that out because they released the new announcement for Company of Heroes 2, so they're trying to bring the hype up on that. Amazon Digital doing something I haven't seen ever done. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3, 33% off. I believe, I know I checked not too long ago on Steam. Call of Duty 2 is still full price. So Amazon Digital, I don't know how you did it. Please keep doing it. You got it down to $40, so go over there and pick that up. And unfortunately, that's about it this week. Hopefully next week there'll be a little bit more in the deal section.
Some really nice deals there. I'm not bringing it down too cheap, minus the Portal. That brings it to under $10. That's well worth it at that price, and they're still working on DLC for Portal 2, so definitely pick that up if you haven't picked it up yet. Modern Warfare 3, if you hadn't already purchased it, $40. That brings it down to an affordable range, and some other amazing deals there. This week, now playing, personally, I am playing a crap ton of Left 4 Dead 2. It's been a staple of mine for a very long time, but I've been really getting into it. I will just pick up a game and play it for hours. Maverick, what game are you playing this week?
I'm right with you on the Left 4 Dead 2 as well. Obviously, I'm with you a lot of the times. But as far as me personally, Dead Island, I'm into another zombie. I guess it's a zombie week. I picked up 2 copies, and I'm playing with my roommate. Or going to play on the co-op mode and see how that is. I actually liked Dead Island. I heard a lot of like negative and iffy things about it, but so far I'm enjoying it.
Very nice. Alright, guys, that brings us to the end of the show. We've gone through news, quickfire news, Ask a Guild Leader, and the weekend deals. This is everything that is going on in the video game industry this week. We plan to give you this show every single week, starting this week. We'll be bringing it to you by Saturday evening, recording Saturday morning, and we hope to get a lot of feedback. So if you guys had any questions about this show, you had positive remarks, negative remarks, good criticism, bad criticism, whatever you have, send it to videogamemashup@gmail.com.
Yeah, thanks a lot, guys, for listening. I also want to say that on YouTube, feel free to comment, like it, please share it out. We do want to get as many people listening as possible, so we can get that feedback, and we want to bring we want to have a show that reflects not just us and our opinions. We want a show that reflects the gamers, the people we love, the people we hang out with all the time. So please give us your feedback, either through email or post a comment on YouTube or whatever you can get to us. Please do.
Well, guys, we are gamers just like you. This is a show for gamers by gamers. So please help us show the show to a friend. Let us know what you think. And the YouTube is youtube.com/the video game mashup, and you can rate us there, give us a couple things, share the podcast with anyone. I've been your host, Theefury.
And I'm Mavrickx888.
Thank you for listening, and have a great week.
Peace.